Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some very peculiar news, and actually some kind of really big news when it comes to both the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition and as well the Xbox Series S. Now, this actually is kind of like a little bit on the intriguing side, because when it comes to these consoles, we actually haven't seen a really big push, a really kind of big switch around to digital-only consoles. Now, for me personally, I have a PlayStation 5 Disc Edition, and as well, I know a lot of people like the Xbox Series X due to the fact that it has actually a disc itself, but I also know quite a few people, myself included, who even on the PC side don't even have a disc drive. Like for my current PC, I literally have everything all digital, and I'm kind of living that life not too bad. And like 90% of my games I go get on my PlayStation 5 disc, or even my Nintendo Switch, are all basically digital. But there actually is a brand new now patent that's coming out over here, which is actually now allowing you to go and do both. Now, we're going to talk about that, talk about the future, talk about what that kind of means, and a lot of other nifty things, because this actually is kind of, at least in my opinion, a groundbreaking design, and as well, I don't want to say it necessarily goes and makes the PS5 Disc Edition kind of worthless, or say the Xbox Series X worthless, but it's very intriguing because if the future pushes a lot more towards this digital-only vibe, this actually adds a lot more merit to this in the first place. So, a lot of stuff to go talk about, a lot of patents, a lot of like internals, a lot of leaks, a lot of all that stuff as well. So let's go and talk about it. As well, if any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. As well, for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway, Amazon links down below for the PS5 Disc Digital Console Controller, Twitter and Twitch stream down below, Weeble and Coinbase down below, and everything else, Twitter giveaway down below. And let's go and dive on into it. So, I always love when we get to go talk about this stuff because anything new and also something that I myself would use, and I know you people probably watching this would most likely use as well, is always kind of nifty and always kind of cool to me. So with this, we actually have some brand new information in regards to Microsoft as plans now for the Xbox Series S external disk drive. And the digital-only console could now one day go and run actual disc. So more so this is kind of focused on the Xbox Series S side. The reason why I'm going to even probably include or talk about the PlayStation 5 too as well and the PlayStation 5 Digital is typically, like, let's just put it this way. If the technology is possible for one, the technology is possible for the other. And as well as you guys know, for a lot of these big types of companies, they will always be, let's say, bouncing off of ideas. And what I mean by that is that they can kind of skeet around and somehow, it's kind of like someone selling lemonade and you really like the idea that, oh, that's a really good lemonade location. Well, let's start selling strawberry lemonade right across the street. Or let's go and have a, like, you know, it's kind of that same thing. We could basically have the similar type of technology. So say if someone's more focused on, let's say, scanning discs. Well, how about this? We just maybe authenticate disc. I'm not sure you guys know how that usually works for these big type of businesses. It's kind of a good example of, like, say, Samsung has a cool feature, and then the iPhone will get it right after. Or the iPhone has a good feature, and then it has something else. Good example is maybe, like, say, Discord into Skype, or maybe, like, you know, FaceTime into Skype. A lot of different type of stuff like that. Group chats into, like, iMessage, home chats. You know how it is. It's just always very similar either way. So that's kind of the big reason why, first and foremost, for that one. But for this, a brand new patent does suggest that Microsoft is designing a system that would now be allowing the Xbox Series S to play physical game discs. And if you guys don't know for whatever reason, PS5 Digital is that. Digital. Xbox Series S as well is pretty much just a weaker Xbox Series X, but it's also only digital. So these, you just can't use the game disc as per usual for both of these. Although Microsoft hasn't confirmed the product, the speculative system would enable owners of the digital-only console to convert their physical games into downloadable copies. First and foremost, that is sick. So as spotted by Game Rant, the patent describes a system that would validate your ownership of a physical game before granting you access to its digital version to download online. The system would involve two devices, one that includes an optical drive capable of reading game discs and verifying your ownership, and then a second that you'd use to download the game. So I think the really rough example of this one I can maybe kind of compare it to, like let's go and say you see a barcode, and you know a lot of the times you can scan it on your phone, it'll take you to a link. Like that's I think probably the easiest technology, at least in my head, I can compare it to. So you basically have your Xbox, you'd have a chance to go and scan it through your Xbox system, or maybe through the Xbox app, and then as that's all verified, then the game is technically like verified on your system, and then you're able to go and download it, stream it, play it, or whatever. And once again, this is actually kind of nifty technology That once again, if this is also running on the PS5 Digital, which if the technology is able to be happening on the Microsoft/Xbox servers and games and all of that, there is literally no reason why I wouldn't be able to on the PS5, as long as they figure out their own actual features, which is actually very cool to go and see. So it sounds akin to pairing a console with an external disk drive, albeit a drive that's capable of independently connecting with Xbox servers to authenticate game ownership. If rolled out for the latest generation of consoles, it would effectively allow owners of the Xbox Series S to run physical copies of their games through the console. So this is huge. Now, once again, this is still like on the development stage and all of that, but this is something I could see so many people using. This is so many people rocking this type of stuff. I love this idea because it goes to show that more people out there are going to be able to go and just buy games at the store, buy games at Best Buy, buy games at Target, and be able to go still run it and utilize it, or even maybe even sharing games too as well, as long as the system allows it. So in the patent, Microsoft says such a system would address concerns over backwards capability. Some players are reluctant to upgrade to the next console generation because they can't carry over their existing library of physical Xbox games to digital-only systems. And I actually did have a lot of folks as well with the same issues with the PS4, where they have all these PS4 games and they may have had issues even just like moving over or utilizing on the PS5, or maybe they have family and they want to be able to go share the games, they just maybe don't like the PS5 Digital for what it is, all that type of stuff. So many next-generation video game devices are being developed, are configured without hardware components for playing physical video game media, the patent says. So that once again is like kind of a big issue. So someone like me, I'll use GameFly a decent amount, or if I see like say Cyberpunk on sale for $5 at Best Buy, I'm probably going to want to buy it. It's a pretty good price, pretty good deal. But if you have a PS5 Digital, you have to wait for all the online sales to, well, basically happen. And I do think if they can expand this and allow this to go be utilized on these digital-only consoles, that will be huge, because it also kind of helps out, like, say, the GameStops, the Best Buys for physical copies, and as well, it's also, nice for birthdays, Christmases. I know when I was a kid, I always used to get games for presents and stuff like that. So that's nice alone, but also maybe also for game sharing with your family, sharing with their best friend, whatever it may be. But as well, it also kind of adds more longevity to consoles because it lets people go basically play the games they want to go play in the first place. And we also have a little bit of a picture over here too as well when it comes to the actual, like, I guess, patent side itself, which you guys can maybe see. So they have like the user device, into the user device, and then I was also utilizing the phone idea, which would make sense for maybe the laptop. And this would make a lot of sense too as well, because this would tie into, let's say, Game Pass. So maybe it might be easier for you to go and like save games on, say, like to PC to Xbox, Xbox to phone to whatever. And especially as they're trying their best to go push more of the xCloud gaming factor, so people just streaming games and moving games, it does make a lot of sense. So essentially the concept is, I'm sure you guys probably got from the video, you have a disc, you basically scan the disc or verify the disc or whatever is like the easiest way to do it. As of right now, you cannot with the PS5 Digital or Xbox Series S, and then it's kind of basically upload to your cloud /Xbox /profile, and then you're able to go either download it or utilize it. You don't have to worry about the disc is all. And the one nice thing too is also like, what if your disc gets broken? That means you have a chance to have your save file. What if your disc gets lost? You have your save file. What if your brother or sister is using it? Then you have access to the save file. So the other is actually really cool technology. So basically for this one, as you guys can see, it's just a lot of games are trying to push more towards digital only. So think Steam Deck, Xbox Series S, PS5 Digital. So it kind of just puts them all more kind of closely in line. Consequently, when an owner of a previous generation video game purchases next generation video game device, the owner is unable to play their physical game media. So once again, if they can go and push this towards the future, that also lets people be more inclined to want to buy physical or maybe buy collector's editions, because they know in the future for the PS6 or Xbox Series X and S and S, XXX, whatever it might be, whether bad naming titles, they're able to go and then now utilize it. So instead of the owner also must repurchase it instead of that too as well, they could just basically just go and use the disc. And no one wants to rebuy all this stuff as time goes on, which I'm also in that same exact boat too as well. So basically, like, we're not really sure still if it'd be like a permanent license, so really use it for the next 50 years, or if we have to like, do it for a year and then re-verify. But either way, as I've mentioned with a lot of folks out there liking the PS5 Digital and everything else, I do think this is awesome technology that I myself would use, and I can't wait to see what comes of this in the future, especially for the Xbox first and foremost, and then the future right after for the PS5 Digital. So, kind of give me your thoughts and comments down below, and as well, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Amazon links down below for the PS5 Digital Console Controller, Twitter and Twitch stream down below, the Weeble and Coinbase down below, the Twitter giveaway down below, and I appreciate you guys all so much for watching. Love you guys.